All right, so here we have our keyboard. I have it all set up and ready to go. It is plugged into power here, and it is connected to our network here. We have this screen that came on and it says control keyboard and it has the date and time. Then we have these flashing lights telling us yes, it has power, and yes, it has network connection. All right, we're gonna go ahead and log into this thing. There is no web interface for this keyboard, so every configuration that we do is gonna be from the keyboard itself using this small screen here. Now, I don't know how well this screen is gonna show up on this camera, so I will be sure to read everything out loud so you can follow along. I will also place a link down in the description below where we will have our blog post listed, so you can head there and check out some more images if you're interested. All right, let's go ahead and pull up our NVR here. And a couple of things that we're going to need to take note of is the IP address, which we'll find here in network, basic, and our IP address is right here. It's best if DHCP is not enabled. Otherwise, you'll just have to keep changing the IP address in the keyboard. Something else that we can take note of here in system and basic is the device ID, which in this case is 1. All right, that's pretty much all we need to know here. Let's go ahead and log into this keyboard and get it set up with our NVR. First step is to log in. So we're going to hit enter, and it says username and password. The default username is admin. I'm going to scroll down to the password, and the default password is 123456, enter. And now we have our main menu here where we can find a device, manage devices, we have local configuration and advanced configuration. Under local configuration, we have our local ID, time configuration, language configuration, and network configuration. The first thing we need to do is enter network configuration. And here we see our IP address. All I want you to do here, you don't need to change anything unless your IP address of your keyboard does not match the IP address of your NVR. So our NVR was 192.168.1.122. Right here, our IP address of the keyboard is 192.168.1.16. So since those first three numbers do match, it does have the same gateway, we are fine here. If this was anything other than 192.168.1, we would need to edit that here just so that it matches our NVR. Next thing I need to do is hit escape to go back. Now to add our device, we just need to go to device manage and hit enter. We can auto scan, but we're going to go to manual configuration and add device. Here is where we are going to add the information for our NVR. The ID is 1. You can name this pretty much anything you like using this number and letter pad here. You can see right there numbers is selected. I can change that by hitting shift. And now capital letters are selected, and I'm just going to type out NVR. Just like old school texting on cell phones, NVR. All right, then we can scroll down and select our device type. This is set to DVR by default. But we are not connecting a DVR, we are connecting an NVR. Then we're going to scroll down and we have our connection type here. We can choose between RS-232 hardwire, RS-485 hardwire, or network. We do have this connected over the network, so we will go ahead and choose network. Now once we hit enter here, it's going to take us to network configuration where we can put in our IP address, which again was 192.168.001.122. And it asks us if we want to save that configuration. We will say yes. And now we can hit escape, and we are all the way back to our home screen. Now to select this NVR, all we have to do is type ID and enter our device's ID, which was 1, and enter. Now it's going to display our device's info, ID 1, name NVR, our device type, and our connection type. We're just going to confirm that that's the NVR we are wanting to connect to by hitting enter. And there we go. We are now in our NVR's menu. Now there's a number of things that I can do here. I can select a monitor if I have this connected to multiple monitors. I can select a camera, or I can select a preview window. So here on our NVR, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 preview windows open and 4 cameras. We actually only have one PTZ available here, and it is this one here. I'll go ahead and click into this and show you just how awkward this can be trying to move the PTZ around with our mouse controls. We can't really move in multiple directions at once. We can't move around while we're zooming in and out, so we just have to make minor adjustments, and you know, this can be really awkward, especially if you're trying to follow somebody around. It can be hard to do that manually by clicking these buttons, and especially if you're wanting to change speeds on the fly. This is just a really clunky workflow. So let's exit out of these PTZ controls, and I'm going to show you how to enable PTZ mode from the keyboard. I can either select the camera itself or the preview window. We can easily see from this screen that this is window number 6. What's not so easy to tell from this screen is it's actually camera number 5. So I prefer to use preview windows just because, you know, these cameras do tend to move around a bit if you're dragging things around. And just because something is up here in a preview window 1 does not mean that that is camera 1. So to do this, I'm going to select my monitor 1 because I only have one monitor. I'm going to type 1 and hit Mon. Now I'm going to select window 6. I'm going to type 6 Win. And now I have that window selected. All I have to do to start PTZ mode is click PTZ. And it automatically makes that full screen. And I have full control now from this 4-dimensional joystick. I can move the camera to the left. I can move the camera to the right. I can go up, I can go down, I can zoom in by twisting the controller to the right, clockwise, and then I can zoom out by twisting the joystick counterclockwise. And the really cool thing about using this joystick is I can zoom in as I am moving the camera around. So you can see it's so much easier to track an object or follow somebody using this joystick than it would be just using the controls on the NVR's interface. So that's really cool. It also has these focus buttons, so I can change the focus if I need to. What else do we have? We can change the iris size, which you probably won't be able to tell from this screen. We can zoom in here on the keyboard as well, and zoom out. The PTZ does not have a light or wipers, but if it did, we could control the light and the wipers here. And you'll notice here that this is pretty sensitive to speed. So if I tap this just a little bit, you can see that the camera is moving very slowly. But if I take it and push it all the way as far as it'll go, the camera just snaps wherever you need it to go. So again, just a very fast way to change your speed on the fly, to go in multiple directions, and just to really quickly move your PTZ to wherever you're needing to move it to. Alright, to exit PTZ mode, all you have to do is click escape, and we are done. And that's pretty much all there is to this keyboard in terms of PTZ controls. I can also just navigate around the NVR at will. So what I can do here is hit 1 and then hit camera, and it's going to activate camera 1. And I can click next. I can cycle through my cameras this way, just very quickly. If I need to change anything in the menus, I can also make a right click here. Let's go into the menu, and here we are in the menu. I can access the different menus using the joystick and the button on top of the joystick, or I can just hit enter. So we can go into, let's say, camera, and then image, and we can adjust image settings right here. And then I can hit escape to go back to my live view. There's a lot of other stuff this keyboard can do. We have a step-by-step user guide, which you can find on our website. Pick one of these up for yourself, take it home, connect it to your NVR, check it out. Just see all the different things that this can do to speed up your workflow, to help you navigate your NVR faster, just to make you feel a lot cooler sitting in your surveillance control room. So go check it out today. Let us know if you have any questions or any issues as you're setting this thing up, and we'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this camera? Go ahead and leave us a comment down below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss another surveillance video. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.